Hi, today I'm going to talk about web scraping, and this is also an internal training material. So if you feel like it is unrelated, then you can skip this video. But the major idea is how to use RVES to scrape data from a web page. So and this is particular for the Leapfrog project. Okay. So first of all, let's take a look at the website for the Leapfrog Hospital Safety Grade. So here's the data set that we are going to scrape, and then each hospital has their own web page. So so first of all, we need to get all the URL for the hospital that we want to download, which I already did it here. But in reality, you just need to go there, search for your hospital, and then take the URL, copy paste, and then make it into a URL, and then make it paste into this list. So for example, here I have these hospital that I want to scrape, and each of them is a different web page. So I just manually copy and paste all their URL into this list. And so and then I look for how many values are there in this survey. So for example, there are 5 major category, and then within each category there are different number of measure. So totally there are 28 measures. So this is the number of measure that I put it here, and then the period is for this time is spring 2019. So I just label these global parameter here, so that I don't need to change for below program. I just need to change it one time at the top, and then I can proceed to my web scraping. So first of all, let's define an empty list, which we are going to put all the things into here. And similar, so like the standard general process for using RVES. First of all, let's read the HTML. So here I'm just trying to get the header, just like the name of the major category and then the subcategory. So I can just use my first URL, since every hospital should have the same category and subcategory. So I just use the first one as my as my destination for the URL. So I don't need to use everything. So and then I just go to the page, use the piping parameter, and then go to the HTML nodes for the measure name. The nodes that I get here is using the selector gadget on the where you can install as an extension. So when you click on the selector gadget, and then now you can get the name for that. So for example, I'm trying to get the major category here. So when I click here, it seems like everything else, something else is also selected. So you can just like unclick them. So here you can see that there are five nodes or 5 things that is selected for this nodes for top tab A. So that is actually here. So that is my 5 major category. And then for my subcategory is dot measure name. So now let's take a look. So let's clear everything, and then now this is the name I'm going to click. I'm going to scrape. So you can see that there are 28 measures here, and then all the measure is under all 28 subcategory. The name of the subcategory is under nodes dot measure name in the HTML at the backend of a web page. So this is how I get these 2 nodes here. So now let's take a look as I run these lines here. Oh, I haven't. So let me get these URL, and now we can take a look. So you can see that since for example, there are 5 subcategory in the first major category, so I just repeat 5 times, and I just repeat the number of subcategory in that major category. So that's why you can see that it is also the length is also 28, but just repeat for how many measures are there in each category. And then for the subcategory, you can see that each of them is just the name. Each of them is just a name over here. So this is the subcategory. This is the major category. And then repeat the number of the measure that is corresponding in each measure category, so that there are 20. So the total length should all be 28. Okay, so now we get the structure. We get the structure for this data set, and now we just need to download the detail number. So there are 4 numbers within each subcategory within each category, so that we need to scrape these 4 numbers here. So again, click selector gadget, click the number, so that there are 112 measures selected. So basically just 28 multiplied by 4, so 1112 is correct. So that means all 4 numbers within each subcategory within each major category is selected. So there are 112 number or text that is under dot value under this HTML notes in this web page. Okay, so now let's go back to the web to this you can call it API or just a program, and the hospital name dot name is just this one here. So this is dot name. So you can see that dot name, and then just additional text here under this node. So first of all, so within for each URL, I'm going to get the first go to the page, then capture the name of the hospital. Then I'm getting the image. So another thing is that I'm trying to get the grades, letter grades for this specific periods for this specific hospital. However, if you look into if you look into the website, this is actually an image. So I use selector gadget to click it here and then uncheck everything. Okay, so dot grade image, it is actually the image here, but the image is like, this is not a text, so I cannot directly scrape as a data set here. However, if you try to download this image, you will find that the name for this image is actually classified by the letter that is in the image. So I can easily just scrape just download the image, and this HTML attribute, it just get the name for the image. Okay, and then if you let me just show you. So if I save image as, so that you can see that this is actually the name, and then for the image for letter grade for letter A, there's actually a in the name for this image. And then if and also let's take a look for this. So you can see that the name for the file name for the image letter B is actually have a B in its image name. So basically what I'm doing in my code is that I'm getting the image and then I'm just getting the name for that image, and now I'm scraping for that for whatever is in between for that hyphen, and then the parenthesis just the thing I want to capture. And then as you notice that the name for that image is just forward slash, and then there's something there's some text, something like there's just some text, and then a hyphen, and then a text, and then a hyphen, and then a text, hyphen, text. So, and then to generalize that the string pattern, and then I'm going to capture whatever is between those hyphen on the third hyphen, on the after the second hyphen, which should be the letter grade. So that's the letter that is corresponding to that image. And then basically for the rest, I'm combining the name for the major category and the subcategory, and then I'm also capture the value, 4 values for each subcategory. Okay, so now let's run this code, and it might take a while to scrape all hospital on their own web page, and then download everything here, like the hospital name, the image, and then the phone number. Okay, so now it's done. So now let's take a look, and I'm just name the column to a meaningful column name, and then make it as character. Because if you do the R-bind list, read it as a list, and then in the data frame, and then it would by default make it to a factor. So just to convert it, just to remove the factor, I use the as character. So this is actually one of a pretty important steps in this program. Because after, if you do not convert it to the character and remain it as a factor, then when you change the content, it might cause some issue. Okay, so now I'm just going to get because my next after my web scraping, I'm going to use this data set to create a Tableau dashboard. So in order to do that, I need to convert the text into number, so that I can create like a graph instead of just showing the text. Okay, so this is only for the Tableau dashboard. And finally, just more formatting. And then here I'm just, the name is the hospital name is pretty long on this survey. So here I'm trying to make it shorter and then to make it concise, so that I manually hard-coded these names, since it is also matching with what I already have in my database for the previous period. So the rest of the field, these lines is just basically formatting, and then this is just that I'm going to append to my previous database, and then previously I already have 3,000 data for the historic data. So now when I append, I just want to make sure the primary key is just is sequential since the last row for that for my previous database, so that let's just define my primary key, and then combine them together, and then make everything as numeric. The N8 is because there's some text that is the text character NA in this scraping, in this data. So if I convert it to the number, then the number will stay as number, but those NA will becomes empty or null. So that's the NA introduce means. So sometimes the warning, it is not an error, it just lets you know what is actually happened after you run your code here. So kind of like like you need to understand what the error message means. Okay, so now let's take a look at our final data set. And here you can see that okay, so that's my primary key, where I just I will just append to my previous database, and then the grade, and then this is hospital, and then there are 24 matter for this hospital. So this is a long format for, so each hospital should have 28 row for that for this survey year. And then the grades is just from here. So you can see that I correctly capture the image, the name of the image for each hospital, so that I don't, well, you can download the image or run some image recognition thing to do that. But since there's a shortcut just to capture the image name, so that will also really save a lot of the effort. So you can see that for spring 2019, I captured, so higher the better. So 4 means A, since I'm going to use this to create Tableau dashboard. So I convert it to number. So you can see that I correctly capture the letter in this image. Then I have 5 major category, and then 28 distinct subcategory. And then here are the 4 number for each subcategory. And then and here is all the NA that is introduced when in the last step. So some of them are just like not reported, or they didn't submit the survey to the Leapfrog. So that's the reason some of them are NA or not available. So, and then finally, for my team members, basically just append this data set to the historic database, and then refresh the Tableau dashboard, and then probably do some minor adjustment, and then you will see the spring data populated in the dashboard. So that's the process for this project. So this yeah, I think this is everything. So thank you very much, and let me know if you have any question.